we're not done.
The Sonic festivities are just getting started. Sonic's 30th anniversary is creeping up even closer, and there was never any doubt that the fanbase would continue to ramp up the ambitious expectations and rumors surrounding the big event, while Sega continues to stay awfully quiet on the matter. Last time we talked about Sonic's 30th, it was on the opportunity to add another character from the franchise to the Smash Bros. Roster in celebration. But that was in January, and now we're only a little over a month away from June, and my attention has shifted to the bigger questions for anniversary content. It's likely to be absolute that we are getting a new title sometime this year. But what a lot of fans look for when the big birthday years come around is titles that lean heavily on legacy content. For the 25th anniversary, Sonic Mania was arguably the best thing that happened to the franchise this millennium. And for the 20th, Generations was a breath of fresh air in a very unstable era. Now, we look to the next title to take up that role, and this time around, fans are looking for a very specific style of Sonic to return. Yeah, it's time to return to the adventure style of Sonic. It's been a weird journey since the times of SA1 and 2, and depending on who you ask in the fandom, we've either gotten many Sonic Adventure follow-ups or nothing in the slightest. Now for the current time, the focus lies on two paths, the coveted Sonic Adventure 3 and the heralded Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 remakes. And in this video, we're going to dip our toes into both scenes to see where the odds lay for one of these games finally coming to fruition for Sonic's 30th anniversary. First up is Sonic Adventure 3, and the rumor mill surrounding this game has been through hell and back for years upon years at this point. One of the most prominent rumor stints took place back in October of last year, where Sonic's Twitter account tweeted an image of Super Sonic from Adventure to off the mathematically pleasing design of the Hedgehog's model from the game, and people like myself just wrote it off as another fairly odd meme from the notorious account. However, Mike Pollitt, Dr. Eggman himself, would throw flames on the speedy blue fire by replying to the post with a link to the song 3 is a Magic Number from Schoolhouse Rock. Aside from it being a top 5 song in the series, because if you know, you know, what stood out the most to fans was the blatant reference to the number 3. And of course, the rumor mill started churning Adventure 3 suspicions from that mere post. But if you're familiar with the Sonic Twitter account like I was, you probably double checked the post and yeah, that's a troll. But others didn't buy it, thinking perhaps it was a 4D chess move by Sega themselves to throw people off. Many were sure that the 3 being left on the post was clearly a sign, and Mike's comment certainly didn't counter that argument. Yet, since that tweet, not much has been heard on the front end. A Sonic Adventure 3 is absolutely something that would be welcome for this period in the series. I've been a massive advocate for a return to the adventure format, specifically for the way it intertwined characters. And with the abundance of Sonic characters that have emerged since then, I'm sure it could be a grandiose project that would surpass our expectations. Although that's not saying too much, because this is the Sonic fanbase we're talking about. Our expectations are below solid ground. That being said, with it being an anniversary year, and with Sega being awfully quiet on the matter, I honestly believe it may finally be time, and if it is, there couldn't be a better time than the present. But let's switch lanes for a bit and take a different route of speculation on the direction Sonic Team could go in the coming months, and based on what I've seen, it could actually be a lot more likely as well. Now, unlike SA3, which has been practically complete speculation through this entire period of rumors, there is a different project surrounding Adventure that has held a lot more momentum heading towards Big Blue's 30th, and that would be a full HD remake of both Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. Now, if you didn't know, recently in a leak with some fair credibility, these games were actually said to have been in development all the way back around the time Sonic Lost World released back in 2013. Then both were cancelled mid-development. Reportedly developed by Sega Shanghai, the studio that has contributed to Lost World as well as Sonic Forces, Nights into Dreams HD, the Dreamcast Collection, Sonic Generations, and most important to the topic, the ports of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 that were released for Steam. There are a few videos that go into detail on the leaks of Sega Shanghai's Adventure Remake projects already, so I'll try not to drag on too much, especially if you've heard it already. That being said, for those unfamiliar, this is reportedly what went down. Sega Shanghai, also known as Sega of China, was available to produce the remakes while Sonic Team was busy working on the early stages of Sonic Forces, as well as the second Hedgehog engine. China was a market that Sega wanted to grab a hold of, and they wanted to get another bigger title out soon after Lost World. The Shanghai studio would go on to begin development on a full-fledged remake of 1999's Adventure in a style said similar to that of Generations. Apparently, Sega was blown away from what they saw and ordered that the studio should begin working on 2001's sequel as well. Everything was greenlit and the modern Sonic voice cast was on board for the project. So what ruined it? Take a wild guess. Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric. Yes, after that failure of a title completely bombed in both sales and in reception, Sega was forced to cut back costs in an effort to recover from the pitiful losses amassed from the Boom experiment. And as a result of that, combined with Sega's notorious lack of accountability, the Shanghai Studios project was evidently scrapped. Remnants of the scrap projects might have even been obvious when the Sonic Adventure Music Experience concerts took place back in Tokyo in 2016, likely coming to fruition with the intent of promoting the remakes of the games, but later being put out on its own as its own event to keep the fantastic renditions from going to waste, both in a literal sense and a financial sense. So knowing that Sonic Adventure 3 is very much up in the air with little to no evidence to support a release, and with the Adventure Remakes reportedly being a project that was buried over half a decade ago, what is even the outlook for a big surprise release? The remakes may have been ruined due to the disaster of Sonic Boom, but I believe it doesn't, nor should it, spell the end for the work that the Shanghai studios put in. Obviously, it was an impressive effort, and Sega's overcompensation after the flop of 2014 resulted in its sacrifice. But it was only nixed due to financial insurance measures, and despite the pandemic at hand, Sega has had a fantastic return to success with Mania, and despite my stance on the game, Forces didn't do too shabby either. Sega has a history with reviving dead projects, and truthfully, it would only be right to bring Sega Shanghai's efforts back for this special year. As for a completely new follow-up in Adventure 3, I'm less certain for sure, but any return would be a welcome one. The Adventure titles were some of the most charming installments in the series, and birthed a slew of classic characters, settings, gameplay, and music. Again, looking at Mania, and even Generations, Sega knows where the money resides in giving Sonic nostalgia a fresh coat of paint. And after having a celebration of the Genesis titles in Mania, I think it's only natural to celebrate the Dreamcast landmarks that followed it. Regardless of what is to come, I'm excited. We're only a few months out, and by now I'm itching for a new Sonic game to play. So here's to Sonic on its 30th anniversary. It's definitely not the last you'll hear from me on the topic, so stay tuned and let me know your thoughts on the topic. What do you think we'll get for the big 30th? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and if you enjoyed, thank you, and thank you so much for watching. Peace.